Hi everyone, it's Kayla here. Thank you for coming to my video. Today I am going to show you what I was working on over our summer break. So my mum and I did this sort of like crafting challenge over summer where we were both given the same stuff to work with. Like we chose different ribbons and like different types of paper, as in like base paper, but we were given all the same pattern papers, all the same wordy bits, all the same cutouts and blings and stuff like that, and we had to produce an album that looked completely different from each other's. So this was my one, and they do look super different. I think Mum's going to upload a video to her YouTube channel at some point, so I will link that in the comments below when she does, and you can just see how completely different they are. It's so amazing how you can get the same stuff and just produce something completely different. So it's a concertina album. And pretty much everything I've used is from Uniquely Creative's Ocean Breeze collection. So it's the side of mine, and they get pretty chunky, but it was honestly so much fun, and it really like pushed me to try new things, which was great. So yeah, it sort of flops open and a concertina's out. So we'll just I'll just do a couple of pages at a time. It is double-sided as well, so there's stuff on this side and then on the flip side as well. So we'll do one side and then flip over and show you the other side. So all of the photos I did were pretty much 3x4. There's a couple that I've had to like cut down a little bit to fit on the page. So there's a couple that are like a funny size, and this is probably the first project I've done where I used a sewing machine quite heavily. I am not a natural stitcher at all. I can't sew a straight line to save my life, but it was really fun doing this, and I really like all of the sort of loose thready bits and just the way stitching looks in a journal. I've never done it before and I really enjoyed it, so that's probably something I will do a little bit more of in the future. And of course I never used a ruler for any of my straight lines so you can't really call them straight lines, but you know what I mean. So we'll just sort of flip it open. I'll just have a bit of a chat. So that's a shaker box there as well. So the whole challenge was to make an album using just what was included in the Uniquely Creative Club pack for December. That's really wordy, I know. So you could only use that and things that you thought most people would reasonably have at home. So like I used ribbon, and like I used tea-dyed paper, and like little bits of old dictionary book, and you know, things like that. So anything in here is either from that collection or it's something that most people would have at home. So like obviously, you know, adhesives and stuff were different because everyone's got their choice of adhesive. But yeah, it was a good challenge. It took quite a few hours but it was nice because Mum and I would sit at the kitchen table together, and so that's a pocket by the way, so I've got two tags in there. Mum and I would sit at the kitchen table together, and we would like do our little crafty stuff, or we would watch like our own YouTube videos or whatever, and it's really interesting. I thought that because we were working with the same equipment, we would end up with like really similar albums. Oh my goodness guys, they are the most different thing you could ever expect. I was like, oh, don't look at what I'm doing, you're gonna steal all my ideas. But they are just so different, it's unbelievable. Like Mum's is very like professional looking, I guess, like it's real finished and it's real like nice, and she's used lots of whites and stuff like that, whereas mine's a lot sort of, well, it's more junk journaling because that's sort of what I do, I guess. But you know, like I've got lots of teeny weeny little details and things like that, whereas Mum's is a lot more like polished, I guess. So it's just amazing how you can, yeah, work with the same stuff and get to completely different projects at the end of it. So all of my like, anything that comes out always has something on the back as well. So it's not just like a tag, it's also a tag and like a tiny spot of journaling. And when I was doing these, I was like, oh my goodness, Kayla, what are you going to write in a space that tiny? But I'm kind of hoping that when I do come to like put photos and stuff in, that I'll have like teeny weeny little memories or like phrases that people have said or whatever that I want to put in these pages. So, right, so that was the front half, and then we'll flip it over and do, wait, no, I need to go this way. So we'll go from there. So we'll, the only problem with having all the like flippy bits is they tend to catch when you're trying to open and close it. So we'll go from this side. So I never stick these down because I like the 3D sort of effect you get when they're loose, but then you do run the risk of bending them a little bit, which is always a shame. But I just have to be more careful. So, oh, now this, I love, this is seam binding ribbon, and it is so much fun to work with because you can dye it really easily with any of your ink pads, but you can also like scrunch it up, and then over here I've like stitched it, and it's such a beautiful ribbon to work with. Like it's such a pleasure to use. If you've never tried seam binding ribbon before, you should give it a go. It is so much fun. So I made sand down here that doesn't like rub off. I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of this. You guys have no idea. Because I didn't want to put sand in there and then have it rub off all the time. So what I ended up doing was I put down some like really strong clear glue, put my sand in, and then waited for that to dry, and then put the same glue over top. So I'll put a close-up in, but it kind of looks like it almost looks like sea foam with the sand, and I'm super stoked with it. Like I was really proud of that. And then I think this is the last page, so this one opens up and flops open, and then that one flops open. So like I said, every like flippy bit or every tag or whatever always has something on the back, so that if I want to journal it I can, which is really great. If I don't feel like it, that's also fine, you know. Well, I suppose I'll have to put something there because it'll look a bit weird otherwise. And then I've got a tag and a tag up here as well. So I've got that side. We've got that side. The other thing I'm super stoked with is the way this worked out. So what I've done is I've like, what do you call it? Ruffled. I've ruffled some seam binding that I have dyed like bright yellow. And then I managed to like stitch the twine over the top with a zigzag stitch. Again, I'm not a stitcher in the slightest, but I was super stoked with how well that worked out because I was just really happy. So then I did it as well for like the closing tie. I did the same thing because I was just so happy with it. So yeah, that is my album for this summer, or my journal for this summer. I will have to go to the beach at some point because it's very beach heavy, and I haven't been to the beach yet, and our summer is like sort of coming to a close, so I should get to a beach pretty soon. But I need to go to a beach, take some photos, and then put some stuff in it, but it's really exciting. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions on what I've used or anything like that, just pop them in the comments below and I will let you know. I think that's about all I've got for you today. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys later. Bye.